There you go.
All right, we are sending out the link again.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, give us just a second. Campaigns. Duplicate. Continue. Revised link. Yep, we just ended the video and restarted it because there's some peeps.
Hey, give us just a second.
That shouldn't have been involved. Give me a second to send out the link via email for those of you that need the updated link. Revised link. And next. And just sent the link, so everyone on the email should have it. Give people a second to join in. I'm going to go, and Snay is going to take over, and I'm going to go eat.
All right. Groovy. Absolutely groovy. All right. Delicious. Let me just turn on these lights, guys. Hold on, guys. All right. All right. Yeah, can you close that door, Sam? All right. Cool. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I was not involved. Okay. So do not blame Daddy Snake. All right, cool. Let's dive straight into it, guys. So I do apologize for all those miscommunications. All right, so we bought this monster computer. It was like $4,000 just to help us stream better, get out better content. Make sure the stream's smooth. And it's renders, like just to edit a video, it just takes hours to edit or render like a 45-minute or even 20-minute video. It's ridiculous. All right. So I do appreciate you guys joining me. So first thing I wanted to go through is the market cap, and so there's a lot of indecision that's happening in the market cap right now. And hold on one second. Let me just close this door. Damn it, Sam. No. Sam's just over there making noodles. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, as you know, we have a 3-bedroom apartment, and the 3rd bedroom is this office that we've made. Not much of an office, but it's what we have, and we are growing. And it's very interesting. And right now we're in the stages of creating our ICO. I don't know if Sam went over this, but we're going through a lot of the regulatory framework. So if you didn't get a chance to look at anything today, or look at the report today, we went over polymath. And we thought this was a very critical report to go over because there's securities. There's a lot of securities that could be listed on the exchange. Everything technically should be a security. All this quote-unquote utility crap is kind of ridiculous, right? Almost every ICO that you've probably invested in most likely should be categorized as a security, not a utility. And that's one of the reasons why we really wanted to push out this report on polymath and what polymath is able to do. And it's still listed on it's still an Ethereum token, so it's still an ERC20 token, but it's an ecosystem within an ecosystem. All right, it's ecosystemception, right? And and again, like I said, it's ecosystemception, right? So it's an ecosystem within an ecosystem, and we really like the project. So we went, so we go to a couple conferences. The next conference we're going to is Porto Crypto, and then right after that we are going to Crypto Invest Summit, and then after that we are going to Consensus, and Consensus is the big one in New York, and hopefully we'll see a nice turnaround in the market right now. But right now, Bitcoin is performing great, right? I still think we could, until we break through that 12K barrier. I'm not going to say, hey, we're going to be breaking bullish, because time and time again we have broken down from the 12K resistance line, and we could go over that right with you guys. And I just wanted to say that, right now it's a bear market. Enthusiasm is low. People are worried. Psychologically, you are probably not going to make good decisions when it comes to investing. That's just the name of the game. It's just not good investing techniques or tactics. And I don't want to scare people off, right? I don't want to say, hey, sorry about that, guys. Hold on. There's Sam's face. Sorry, Photoshop takes up a lot of CPU power, so I just wanted to close it out. And so that being said, sorry, Bitcoin, until we break through that 12K resistance line, I don't think we will. We've just broken down from it time and time again, and I don't think that it's. I don't think we're bullish yet. I think we're still trending along this wave line, and I'm actually going to go through TradingView and show you guys TradingView. All right, BTC USD. So I'm more of an active trader than Sam is. Sam likes to accumulate, and he likes to make trades a couple times a week, while I'm maybe not even a couple times a week. Sometimes won't trade at all in a week. But that being said, we will accumulate. He does accumulate. So he does buy often, right? He'll buy and sell into new projects. Any other developments that come out, he'll buy and sell off of that. On me, on the other hand, I'm a little bit more risky of a trader. And, but that's about it. Hold on, guys. All right, so if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. But I'm going to go through BTC first. Been working my ass off and haven't had time for crypto. Yeah, it's rough. And that's one of the reasons why we created the Cryptosonic Advantage, is that people didn't have time to sit in the Moon Lounge. And our old Moon Lounge, which we capped it at 100, and it was really active for the most part. It was really active. And then we made the Advantage because we knew that people would rather have a digestible format of reading an email or a newsletter or a report. And we thought that was much better, right? And that's the end of the story. We just think that it's much more digestible for the average person to read a single report than it is to watch, one of our longer streams. And we are thinking about cutting those shorter as our computing power gets a little bit better. But we definitely want to keep these private calls. We want to keep them more steady and more available. I want to do at least 1 or 2 private calls a week, just to make sure that everyone is psychologically okay, especially trading. I don't want people to get overly worried or overly angsty. We're a community here. We look out for each other. I learn from you guys just as much as you guys learn from us. We have a whole full-bodied team trying to research new cryptocurrencies, making sure that none of your investments are overlooked, right? So let's go straight to a BTC. All right, so Bitcoin. So I'm actually gonna go to BTC Coinbase. Wow. Okay. Let me just delete that. So we were traveling on the falling wedge. We broke out, and now we're traveling on another line. But that being said, we have not broken through 12,000 since about mid-January, since the time we broke down from it. And that's a worrying sign for me. I'm going to continue monitoring this situation. Let's actually look at it in the 4-hour. That'll give us a better picture here. So if you're just looking at this, MACD is still looking strong. Wave trend still looking high. RSI is very high. I could expect. I wouldn't be surprised if we broke down all the way down to back to 9,000. Right. These markets are still not stable enough to not have that big of a price loss, right? And that's over. I would say that's over 16-17%, right? So I would honestly say, could I buy at a better time for Bitcoin? Possibly. Am I selling my Bitcoin? No. Why am I not selling my Bitcoin? Because the markets are variable right now. And here's the thing. We know regulation is coming. We've spoken to so many lawyers that are specifically in the cryptocurrency space. We know that Q2, Q3 is going to be a good time for a lot of these dApps, right? A lot of these decentralized applications. But the regulatory environment, especially in the United States, is going to drastically change. And we are trying to keep up on that. So that is why we took a position into Polymath. And that is why I am bullish on Bitcoin in the long term, but I am not bullish on Bitcoin right now. If I was to say, hey, if it broke through 12,000, maybe I would have to double check my guess. But right now, I severely doubt that we could break through 12,000 without some really significant news or maybe Chinese influence, right? Other than that, I don't think we are able to really break through that little period there. So, okay. Snake, could you take a look at Neblio, please? So Neblio is another one of those good cryptocurrencies. We actually bought some Neblio. It was actually listed in one of our. So again, look at that, guys. Traveling along this channel, going a little bit parabolic here. That's going super parabolic actually. RSI super high. Still looking strong. This is not indicating for me to sell here. Especially because it was at the recent high not too long ago. That local high not too long ago. Only about 2 weeks ago. So I wouldn't be selling right now. But if we're looking in the hourly, yeah, again, this is not an indication for me to sell. I wouldn't call this sell pressure by any means. But yeah, so Fresh to Salt says Moon Lounge gets better and better by the week, kind of slow and stagnant at first, but more and more life now. Yes, and as we are growing, we are hiring more and more people, more and more writers. Our developers are working very hard on the website, and just to try to make it more improvements. We're trying to make a complete financial investment website, right? Whether that be charting or statistics, like RSI statistics, or if it is more on the lines of just portfolio management. We wanted to make something very robust, and there wasn't anything on the market. So unfortunately, we've had to do everything ourselves. Everything you see on that website was made from scratch. We pull a lot of APIs, so a lot of exchange data. So it is accurate, but it does get glitchy sometimes. We're not a big conglomeration. We're just two people that invested in Bitcoin very early and now is reinvesting it to build this community. And this is what it's all about. Should I wait to position XLM without knowing Bitcoin could go down and bring XLM with it? So XLM has had very good news in the recent history, right? Where it's constantly being wavered, right, by Bitcoin's non-aggression, essentially, right? So let's look at that daily. So on the daily, we are still looking like we could go down. Almost every single day, we are continually breaking down from our all-time high. All right, and we have broken through that purple line of support here. So if we looked at it in the 12-hour, let's see what we see on the MACD. MACD still entering through a consolidation phase. RSI super low. This is not a bad investment. I wouldn't say it was a bad investment, but for me, I think it still has some time to consolidate. I think it has still does have some time to consolidate. All right. What's with the dishevelment? I don't know. Hey, Snay, will INT ever go up? It's like 60% down from when you guys did your report on. So things like INT, HPB, EOS, Cardano. I don't want to call them pipe dreams, right? I don't want to say, hey, you're never going to see your money on a lot of these cryptocurrencies. But the fact is, and actually I should put up the chat here. Sorry about that, guys, because I want people to see rewatching this video. Not everyone could join us live, of course, so I want everyone to be able to see what chat was what said. So that being said, these aren't pipe dreams. They're not. I wouldn't call them gambles. They have good teams. They have good ideas. They have good partnerships. They come from a solid foundation and background. And I'm banking on them not being money grabs, right? That's all we can do. How can I know someone's true intention? How can I know someone is just gonna take all the ICO money and just leave? Because you're essentially trusting that team with your money. You're essentially, even though it's a decentralized application, there's some level of trust to a third party in order for that project to succeed. Unless they have a board of directors or some sort of continuation program where the project can continue without the faulty leadership, right? And for me, I don't think that's particularly the case. I think that the ICO world and especially HPB and INT, I think they've won awards in the past, specifically INT. So I wouldn't say that it's bad, right? I wouldn't say it's a bad investment, but it does cause some room for concern, right? So just be. I wouldn't over leverage myself on any one of those cryptocurrencies, whether it be Cardano or INT or HPB or EOS. All right. Excuse me. If I ask you one coin to invest in today, which one would it be? Which one would it be? If you ask me one coin today.
Geyser coin.
Sam's yelling at me saying Geyser coin, which is a potential name that we have. But for me, actually today, I would have maybe said yesterday, but today we are up another 15% up on Omise Go. And I don't know how many times I've said this, but this is still one of my favorite picks is Omise Go. Still to this day. Is it my number one coin? I wouldn't call it my number one coin right now. I mean, we've been accumulating this on this channel for quite some time now. We know Omise Go is going to do well. We know it's backed by $1 billion company. We know Vitalik Buterin met with the Thai government, Thai leaders with Omise Go to get this project implemented and accepted countrywide. So to me, that proves an amazing initiative, right? An amazing initiative. And I'm not saying anything fancy here that you couldn't find out, from somebody else. But to me, there's such strong fundamental support. And if we look at the technicals, we could go through the technicals right now. I'm saying Omise Go and Neo, and I'm going to stick with that. Omise Go, Neo, and Qtum once it's able to launch more dApps. All right. So it's all about portfolio strategy and portfolio management to us right now, right? You don't want to over leverage yourself on a random pick or a random buy. We've been saying to pick up Omise Go, buy these dips, buy these dips, buy these dips. I mean, if you just look at this in the daily, you would have been able to determine that this was a low point here, and we did buy some here. But the thing is, you don't want to over leverage yourself. I did become very over leveraged on Omise Go, and I actually sold some off a little bit. I do regret it a little bit because I did sell off as it was running up near this local high. But again, in these last 2 days, we've already broken past that local high. But I just reinvested it, right? It's not like I'm holding on to vast amounts of Bitcoin, but I wouldn't, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't suggest buying anything when it's that severely green, specifically Omise Go. So let's look at it in the 4-hour. So that 4-hour it's looking okay, right? I still think we are going to be traveling on this purple line of support. I mean, look, it's technicals exist for a reason because it's testing that upward trending support, and once it breaks down, it could continue to break down to some sort of support level, which would be around that 0.0155 or 0.015 exactly. So that's levels of support that we could see, and that's strong support. Not only is that for technical levels, but also psychological levels that those hold numbers tend to hold support more than others. All right, I'm going to buy OMG again on the dip. Solid, sold some off myself. Yeah, so I do expect this to break down to this purple line, and it's all about managing your portfolio properly. I wouldn't over leverage myself on Omise Go. Are you able to comment on Elastos? So Elastos, of course, it won the vote. I don't think it should have won the vote. It was on the Binance vote, if anyone is wondering. I believe it won the Binance vote, but it's a good project. But am I flattered with it? Probably not. It's seeing some run up because of the Binance coin tournament, but other than that, or poll rather. But other than that, I think the way Binance handled it was very unprofessional. These are companies. You're listing these companies, and you're gonna have a competition on it by votes. I think that's absurd. I wouldn't do that. It has such had high volume. Yeah, it's not a bad company, but I'm not mind blown behind it. Not like I was with Polymath, right? Where Polymath is coming in with a unique solution to a lot of these cryptocurrency problems. Opinion on Nebulous. So Nebulous is pretty cool. So they're trying to link blockchains, blockchain ledgers, and kind of be able to see the transaction cross blockchains. And they call it the Google of blockchains, and it's made by some Neo co-founders. And it's a pretty interesting process. But for right now, OMG, I would wait for it to drop a little bit. I think it is running a little parabolic right now. Yeah, I would wait for it to drop. I think it's going to drop significantly, actually. Down to that purple line at least. All right, NAS. Oh, Lord. I have to go over to Coinigy, don't I? Okay. I can't even chart this. I know it's on KuCoin, but I guess they don't have these coins in there yet. No, I guess. Huh. It's just the search algorithm's not updated yet. I don't know. No, no idea why it's not showing up. But Nebulous and Nebulous are both interesting. But wait for Nebula to come down. Absolutely, I would wait for Nebula to come down. I don't see it outperforming many other cryptocurrencies on the market right now. So for me, if we just look at this, let's actually go to view all on CoinMarketCap. 7 days, we're still down on Ripple. We're still down on a lot of these cryptocurrencies. Nothing's really looking bullish other than NEO. But NEO has every right to go bullish. I mean, we've been advocating to accumulate more and more NEO over the time goes. Now, one thing that really is peculiar is BChain is very, very low right now, and that's interesting. It's been suffering as of late. Lisk actually has been suffering as well. I mean, the Lisk rebrand finally took place, and the rebrand is actually okay. They rebranded their company image, but for me, it's all about dApps. If you're not building dApps onto your system, what are you doing, right? What are you doing if you're not building dApps onto your system? Because that's essentially all your company is good for is building dApps, right? So Neo, things that are built off the Neo blockchain, Ethereum blockchain. So here's a little educational lesson for you. What does that mean, dApps, right? What does that mean? If I want to build off of Ethereum, what does that mean? And this is an interesting thing to learn because a lot of my investment analysis does come from a lot of technological background. So for me, NAS specifically, NAS, Ethereum tokens or ERC20 tokens, they are. Let me just turn these lights down a little bit. All right, thank you. All right, so ERC tokens especially. So let me just go over it a little bit. When I am sending you an ERC20 token, what does that mean? Or building off of Ethereum, what does that mean? It means I am putting underlying software behind an Ethereum transaction. So your unspent inputs and output transactions, that's what it means. So when I am sending you, for example, an Omise Go, what does that mean, guys? And let me just, all right. So what does that mean when I'm sending you one Omise Go? I'm slouching here. Sorry, guys. All right. It means I am sending you 0 Ethereum with a little bit of gas, so a little bit of Ethereum to have the transaction validated. And then what am I doing? I'm putting underlying software behind that transaction, verifying cryptographically that yes, indeed, a token of Ethereum Omise Go is being sent. So you want to keep an eye out for that. You want to make sure that you're diversifying enough on your dApps as well as your blockchains in your portfolio. For example, I wouldn't over leverage myself on all of the Neo dApps. Now, what is a Neo dApp? Now, a Neo dApp is like an Ethereum dApp, an ERC20 token. So it is a decentralized application built on the Neo platform. Now, Neo, on the other hand, is a little bit pricey, right? Where we have a lot of gas that it requires, I believe, 100 or 50. I can't remember, but it's around $25,000 to $50,000 to create one Ethereum, one Neo contract. So what does that mean? Oh, I'm creating an Ethereum contract. That means you're creating a underlying protocol on Ethereum that holds the basis of your token. It holds your token supply, what your token can do, the smart contracts inside of your token. That is what an underlying contract really means. Now you could build a contract for under $1,000 with Ethereum. That's the beauty of Ethereum, right? Well, the transactions are a little bit higher, but it's a cheaper barrier to entry, right? Great point on Neo dApps, yes. So I haven't been reading the comments. I apologize. Hold on. Nebulous. I do like Nebulous, guys. Calibre Network is still down. Kyber Network. Yeah, okay. Kyber Network is still down. Yeah, so I got whitelisted. I think almost everyone got whitelisted. It was a pretty speedy process. Yes, this has potential. They need to deliver the product. Hopefully 3 weeks, they say. Yeah, their mainnet hasn't launched. It's interesting, right? Because what is Solidity? And, I give you guys the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to explain it regardless. Because, you guys, these are investment techniques that, most people don't want to listen to. These are technology and understanding of the blockchain that most people don't care about. But here on this channel and this group, we do care about that because we know, we bought Neo for so dirt cheap, for under $1, because we saw its great potential. And another one of those was Lisk, where I had Well, I bought thousands of Lisk for under $2, right? And it's done wonders for me. Right? You got to make sure your money's working for you, and by doing that, you can't just look at technical analysis. You have to look at both ends of the picture. If it's a good project, then yes, you look at technical analysis. You should be taking both sides of the picture, right? And you want to make sure that these what the underlying technology is, right? So for me, Lisk, if you're looking at Solidity versus Java, it's very, very similar. A full stack engineer, I'm a software developer myself. A full stack engineer would not have too much trouble programming in Solidity, right? So Lisk is strictly Java. Lisk is strictly Java. And let me just close out of these Telegram chats. Okay. All right. So let's keep going through your guys' questions. Can you talk about polymath and its correlation to upcoming regulation? How does this make polymath bullish? So polymath. So okay. First of all, what is a security? What is a utility? So back in the day, they classified what is a utility and what is a security by using a Howey test. Now, a Howey test is an archaic way. Hold on, guys. SEC versus J.W. Howey. 1946, this was listed, right? Where corporations organize citrus groves in Florida. So it's about a farmer battling the SEC, right? And this determines whether something is a security, whether it fails or passes. The Howey test determines if it's a security or it's not a security, right? So for now, everything has been categorized as a utility, meaning that there's nothing backing these assets. Now, what does that specifically mean? There's nothing backing these assets. So, for example, Banana Coin. Everyone's heard of Banana Coin. They're backed by bushels of bananas, and that underlying asset is what primarily makes that 1-to-1 ratio is what primarily makes it an asset. I mean, a security. And now all these ICOs are categorizing themselves as a utility, right? They're not. There's no underlying value, right? And there's no basic underlying value. So that being said, all these ICOs that are listed as utilities, there's going to be drastic regulation coming, and they must be utilized as a security. But Snay, why? Why do they? What makes it so different? Well, to launch a security token, there's significant regulation, paperwork, and legal structure that you need to perform in order to launch an ICO. It's an estimated cost around $750 to $1 million, right, to launch a security token. And we're just now looking into that now, but to launch a utility token, it's essentially as much as creating a contract, creating an email, some Twitter and Facebook accounts, and that's about it. Because it's regulated like a security, there's a lot of security guidelines that it has to follow through. And and the SEC, unbeknownst to a lot of them, the SEC could retroactively classify something as a security even though they launched as a utility. Right, guys? Okay, so securities is what Polymath is specializing in, and that's why we were bullish on it. I mean, if you would go to any of these conferences, and I'm trying to relay the information to you, Polymath was by far the most hyped project there. Securities are the way of the future. We know that securities will outpace utilities. We know that any legitimate company will be classified as a security. Any large utility, large largely successful company. The company to become successful, the company to hit mainstream adoption will be a security, right? I don't think it will be a utility. All right. My guess is securities will have inherent legal clarity and protections for investors. Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of crappy ICOs out there with undetermined valuations. Sometimes you don't even hear from the team. Like the one I went over yesterday, CryptoNex. CryptoNex was up 50% because of an airdrop. And what happened? What happened to CryptoNex? I guarantee you it's a scam. I don't, there's absolutely no communication by the team or anything. And I got a lot of comments on it, like, hey, Snay, like, when are you going to do all these videos, like specifying one coin? I was like, if anyone saw my video on CryptoNex yesterday, I said it was shit. I said I would not touch it, right? And I get a lot of flack for that, but I guess it's okay, right? But CryptoNex, if you did see my yesterday's video, if you didn't see my yesterday's video, it is not. I didn't go over it with a smile. I went over it with a frowny face. All right. All right. So let's keep reading. Stuart H says it means you are going to have a clogged system of delivery on the Ethereum networks if you have two to send. If you have many to send. Oh, okay. So, thoughts on KNC is down 60%. So Kyber Network, there was a lot of hype behind it, and it's still down. It's still down a lot today. And let's go over the Kyber Network charts. So it's continuing to plummet down, and I think it'll continue to plummet down until Ethereum. I think it follows Ethereum a lot. And how do I know it follows Ethereum? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a symbol. I'm going to say ETH BTC. Now, as Ethereum drops, we will see a larger and larger correction, right? I would call this a correction because, let's actually, instead of going over Kyber, let's actually go through Ethereum. Now, as you know, my stance on Ethereum, I'm still very bullish on it, right? But to me, it was hyped up a lot. I mean, obviously, we have over 2,000 projects on the Ethereum network. We have CryptoKitties completely clogging the system. Ethereum is all the buzz. If you want to launch an ICO, 80% of the time, you would probably want to launch it off Ethereum just because of its ease of use. Not because of its blockchain technology, but its ease of use. So let me just hide that. So Ethereum, again, Ethereum is one of those coins that is, it bounced down, and now it's going to find its bottom, and it's going to trend right back up. So there's a really good buy opportunity coming for Ethereum. I wouldn't say it's coming. I wouldn't say it's here now. I would not say it's here now. Again, with the MACD and RSI being so low, I still think it could drop a little bit further. Actually, let me cancel all of that and take off percentage. Okay. But I think we could still continue to drop a little bit. Down closer below that 0.008 mark. So around that 0.077 mark is where I would consider to get in. So it is looking like a good buy opportunity is coming soon for Ethereum. I still think that it could be hitting support and bouncing off that support anytime. It's going to be very easy to miss these, right? But for me, right now, it's trending to say, hey, it's a good signal to buy. This is a long-term hold. Ethereum is a long-term hold. But for me, I think it is a steadier hold than most of these other cryptocurrencies. And as, for example, if something if something really good news comes out, I'll probably sell back into Ethereum over Bitcoin right now. All right. Any thoughts on KNC? It's 60% down. And so that was the reason why I pulled up Ethereum in the first place, was that KNC, Kyber Network, was it was very, very hyped. Whitelist coming down. Obviously, they're having network troubles. The decentralized exchange still hasn't launched. I still think it'll trend down with Ethereum, and when Ethereum pops back up, it'll pop back up, right? All right. Great point on NeoDApps. Yes, so NeoDApps, I'm a little bit behind on the comments. So NeoDApps are, and I'm going to turn off slow mode because, slow mode is turned off. Okay, I apologize, guys. So, yes, all right, so NeoDApps. So NeoDApps is an interesting one. NeoDApps is an interesting one. I don't know why Sam had BitConnect charts up. Everyone buy BitConnect. No, I'm just kidding. Don't buy this thing. So, if you went to markets, all these cryptocurrencies that have a Neo pairing, well, not all of them, but most of them with a Neo pairing. I wouldn't say these are down here, but a lot of these are most likely Neo DApps, right? Not Dragon, but like Red Pulse and Deep Brain Chain, Trinity, The Key, things like that. They're all Neo DApps. So I wouldn't over leverage myself on Neo. If something happens to Neo, it could collapse that entire DApp ecosystem. And for me, Neo hasn't been audited as much as Ethereum, so I'm still very heavy on Neo. Don't get me wrong. It is a vast percentage of my portfolio. I wouldn't say a majority, but it is getting up to 20 to 22%. Because I have been buying. Neo is one of these easier coins to swing trade. You can easily buy at the bottom, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, sell at the top, etc. and etc. etc. And you could do that with USDT, Ethereum, or Bitcoin. But I prefer Bitcoin to trade on. We do care about it. I got in at $4 to $6 on Lisk. Absolutely. So I think this Stuart H is referring technology. And yeah, so this is the problem with a lot of YouTube channels is they don't really care. They care about news, and they care about news, and they care about price and technical analysis, and they put no emphasis on technology or the team behind it, or if they could actually implement something like this. So what we try to do is Sam and I, we actually, after we read the white paper, or we get a condensed form of the white paper from some of our writers, what we do is we do a feasibility study, depending on how long it would take. We're both developers. Actually, Sam was a pretty good developer back in the day, and we understand how tough these things could be, right? What the project is trying to accomplish, and when someone says, it's not achievable, or like, hey, like this is going to be done in a quarter, it's highly doubtful. It's very, very highly doubtful. So can you call out some good dApps that you're more bullish on? Absolutely. So let's go back to CoinMarketCap. Some more dApps. So look at this. Ethereum platform. Ripple and Bitcoin are currencies. Bitcoin Cash is a currency. Litecoin is a currency. Neo platform. Cardano platform. Stellar platform. EOS platform. IOTA platform. Dash currency. Monero currency. NEM platform. Ethereum Classic platform. Tron platform. VeChain, supply chain management, not a platform. I believe it's its own it's its own blockchain. It doesn't have its own independent blockchain. Omise Go, DApp, a good token to look into. Nano, cryptocurrency, right? Qtum, platform. Lisk, platform. Bitcoin Gold and Nano are currencies. Icon is a platform. Zcash currency. Binance Coin. Now Binance Coin is, if you like Binance, you should pick up some Binance Coin. But for right now, it's a little too risky for me to pick up too much Binance Coin. It doesn't have that much utility to it. So Bitcoin, Verge, Steemit. So Steem is another one of those. It has its own blockchain, Verge own blockchain. So all these have their own blockchain with its own specific utility. But when it comes to dApps, let me show you guys. Here's something perfect for you. Just go to EtherDelta and you can find out all the dApps that you want. So, yeah, even though this is not very pretty, no, actually it's not very pretty at all. I hate trading on EtherDelta. But this is a dApp. All these are dApps, right? All these are built off of Ethereum. That's what you consider a dApp. So there's not that many dApps, but you could see Komodo, ARK. These are good cryptocurrencies. Basic Attention Token. I've kind of given up on Basic Attention Token. What does that mean? Saying, what do you mean you've given up on Basic Attention Token? Well, it's not providing enough value for me right now. I've been holding on to it, and it's just, is it time to cut the cord? And I feel the same way about Komodo a little bit. And we have an interview with Komodo that we still have to render and complete, so I apologize for the delay there. So we still have that interview available, and we will upload it very soon with the Komodo team. I like Komodo. I like ARK. I like Basic Attention Token. Digibyte, what the hell? You know, whatever. But it's just not a good... I wouldn't consider this a good project, right? I mean, a good project, but Digibyte is a good project, but I wouldn't... It has no central leadership, and I like to look for central development at least. These three here, Komodo, ARK, Basic Attention Token, they're not really meeting my bottom line anymore, and I've been considering dropping more and more of them, even though they are good projects. But it's so much time. I feel like I could make better yields, right? Could this be a great project? Absolutely, but I think you should focus on the bigger picture. You know what the return should be able to, what kind of return you should be expecting. All right. Love the transparency on CryptoNext. Cool. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on the chat here. So ETC is adding dApps, is more decentralized than ETH IMO too. So Ethereum Classic is going to be a wild card. For now, I think Ethereum is fine. But once Ethereum moves over to proof of stake, I think Ethereum Classic will have its time in the sky, right? I think it will do well. I don't see it underperforming, all right, considering it is a proof of work coin. Now Loopring, that's another amazing plugin. I would really highly look into Loopring, guys, if you don't have any. The supply is quite high, but as Neo gets better, Loopring will get better as well. It's providing a Neo plugin solution for a lot of dApps, and as we've seen, Neo is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. People are talking about Neo, right? It's the number 2 contender to Ethereum. I wouldn't say anything else is even competing with Ethereum other than Neo, right? Maybe Qtum a little bit, right? But right now, that's about it. And yeah, so transparency got into Lend about 0.1 a.m. 0.1 at the moment. Okay, yeah, Lend is so Salt. No, Lend. Have I even heard of Lend? Is that ETH Lend? Lend. Yes. I don't know. I haven't done enough research about ETH Lend to even tell you the truth about it. Do you recommend to get out, or is it a good long-term hold? So Lend, I don't know too much around, so I do not know that much about Lend. Where's your next buy entry for Neo? So we'll go back to Neo and see that. So I initially said under 0.012. Let's look at that on the 4 hour. So yeah, I could see this. I could see this dropping a little bit more. I could see it dropping all the way down to 0.012 without a missing a beat. But for me, it's still. I'm not selling off too much. I do accumulate gas, so I do like that. Then RSI is looking pretty stable. Let's look at it in the 4 hour actually. RSI is still a little high, looking pretty stable. It's not looking like an opportune time to buy or sell right now. It's on a consolidation phase, but I would still. This still holds true. This 0.012 mark, I think it still holds true. I think it's a decent time to pick up some more NEO. You could accumulate on the way down, but I think it is going to continue to break down. But that daily looks magnificent, doesn't it? It is amazing to me to see that, hey, the daily, we broke out from here to here, and then we're right back down, even though we didn't have that much of a loss. So this is why I'm so hesitant trading or selling off a lot of my NEO. I swing trade my NEO with extra Bitcoin that I have, but I keep that baseline of NEO. For example, I'll keep 80% of my NEO and then swing trade 20%. So torn between leaving crypto on exchanges and setting stop losses and keeping them in a safe ledger in my fanny pack. How do you balance? So for me, I've withdrawn completely out of Poloniex, completely out of Kraken, and I've only trusted Bittrex and Binance with my money. And yes, I do hold a lot of client wallets, and I would highly recommend, if you are holding NEO, I would highly recommend, staking your NEO. Why are you could be making so much money. Why not stake your NEO? So there is a tough balance. It's a tough decision to make. And for me, I think I hold a majority of my money in my ledger and in my wallets on my computer, but I still have a significant amount of money on exchanges. But I'm an active trader, and if you don't want to actively trade, I would consider only leaving around 30 to 40% of, at max, 30 to 40% of your entire portfolio on exchanges. That's just, I'm just telling you the truth there. It's tough. I dreaded Ether Delta. Yeah, Ether Delta is terrible. IDEX is a little better, I guess. I sold all my BAT at all-time high. Got rid of it. Yeah. Were you not? I'm very impressed with the Komodo team. But the fact that it's been out for so long and there's not many dApps that are running on it, but they said it was 5 ICOs are going to be launching off of it in 2018. So and not one has yet to be released yet. So we'll find out, right? We'll find out. Digibyte finally hired a PR firm. Yeah, I heard about that. So one of my friends is a huge Digibiter, so he's been keeping me up to date with all the Digibyte news. Hopefully things will turn around for Digibyte. It has a very good premise, right? ETH support was 0.077 or around under 0.08. What do you think about Next Lottery? Now, Next Lottery, that's interesting. Next is interesting because they didn't have a pre-sale. They didn't have anything, right? They didn't discount anything. They're just like, this is it. This is it. And there's no sale. If you want our token, you could have our token. But it's interesting. To those consider apps like Loopring. Yeah, Loopring is a good token. Now, what do you think about things about Track? I like Track. Track is Origin Trail. OX. I like OX protocol. Now, it's actually interesting. So, so I actually had a one-on-one recently. So, where someone spends an hour with me, one-on-one, and I just go over their portfolio, break it down for them. Where's 0x? Why are all these 0x's exist? He asked me that. I was like, hey, why are all these what is this District 0x? What is this Bounty 0x? What is this 0x protocol here? So 0x, if you guys haven't noticed, every Ethereum address starts with 0x. Every Ethereum address starts with 0x. So what does that mean? That means every decentralized application built off of Ethereum will also have a 0x in front of it. So that's why they call it 0x protocol or District 0x, because it's built off of Ethereum, or Bounty OX, which is a bounty program for bug bounties, pretty much, right? Any sort of language translation for ICOs or pre-existing companies. When are these coins actually going to be in use? Most are just hold or trade. Yeah, so a lot of these roadmap objectives have not been hit. So I'm not sure why Kyber's being hit so hard. Maybe because of everything is being hit so hard with Ethereum. But at least they're delivering on somewhat of their roadmap objectives. Not very cleanly, but I wouldn't call this a professional operation from Kyber. But they're trying their hardest, and Vitalik is helping them. So we'll see if they get enough support to really launch this thing and take it off. If you look into CP Chain, no, I actually have not looked into CP Chain too much. Okay. If you had some fiat for long-term hold, would you buy Ripple or Loopring or NAS? So honestly, Ripple, Loopring, or NAS, I would hedge on Ripple. So I think Ripple would be 40% of my portfolio, and you could split your portfolio to 30 and 30 with NAS and Loopring if you wanted to enter the market then. But remember, test the market. Make sure you're not buying on parabolic turns, right? And yeah, so just make sure you are testing the market, and specifically Ripple. Right, and we're going to continue to break down through this. It's going to be an interesting procedure here. I would seriously consider, Ripple's one of those tough ones, guys. It's literally fully dependent on partnerships, right? Fully dependent on banking partnerships. So for me, I would wait for everything to really break down or find its low point. Like this MACD, for example, is getting lower and lower. I would wait for it to turn back up before buying, but that RSI is extremely low for Ripple. I could foresee an immediate overturn if Ethereum does well. If Bitcoin does well. So we'll see. But for me right now, I think Loopring and NAS are good projects without a doubt. They have yet to put out any sort of functionable product, but if the Neo team is good at anything, it's putting out projects. So I think NAS is probably a safer bet than Loopring, but Loopring still is a good bet as well. I think all three of those projects are good. I'm hesitant on Ripple, but Ripple seems to have a little bit more stability as these prices start to climb down, and yeah, that's about it. So I really do appreciate you guys. I think it's been a little bit over an hour here. So if you have any more questions, at least put Neo on Binance to get KuCoin or gas. Absolutely. So if you put Neo on Binance or KuCoin, you will earn gas. So Ripple has been the king of sideways movement. Yeah, absolutely. Do you foresee banks offering their own crypto exchanges in the next couple of years and mainstream adoption? So we just saw Circle. Remember Circle.com? I remember Circle.com because they missed out on such a huge opportunity. You were able to buy Bitcoin using a credit card on Circle. I remember this, and I got an email saying you got to withdraw your Bitcoin. So I withdrew my Bitcoin, right? And I put it into a paper wallet, and they discontinued that service. And now they ended up buying. There's a financial company, and now they ended up buying Poloniex. So it'll be interesting to see what they could implement into Poloniex's infrastructure. They are trying for decentralization. I have not seen that, but that's very interesting. But I thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I will be on the Moon Lounge, so you could private message me for any questions. But I really do appreciate it, guys. Circle is about I have 7 pairs on Poloniex. That's amazing. Yeah. So Circle is they're a pre-existing company. They have a ton of money, so I think they could accomplish any sort of task. Now Poloniex was making $1 million a day. Think about that, guys. Poloniex is making $1 million a day, and their infrastructure was still so terrible. So everyone flocked over to Bittrex, then over to Binance, right? So it's going to be interesting to see, but we'll see, right? We can't predict the future, but I just wanted to the last thing I wanted to say is, don't over leverage yourself. Don't worry. Don't panic. Make sure you set your stop losses, guys. We're going to continue putting out these reports. Now, HPB and INT, they are pipe dreams, right? And we've said that in our thoughts section, on the bottommost section, saying these are pipe dreams, right? These could have tremendous potential, but do not over leverage yourself on these, right? When I mean small, I mean very small. So be hesitant, guys, and I really do appreciate you guys joining me here today. Thank you so much. It's Sneh here. Peace out, guys.